Hi, my name is Lyric, and today we are going to be doing a different type of reaction. I've never done any reaction really close to this. We're here with Hayden, by the way. He was in my last video.
This is definitely
they were in my last video. I'm doing this before. Y'all commented if you like them or not. So if you didn't like them, too bad. So we're watching a Vsauce video. This is a very old video. In fact, let's look at the exact date this video was uploaded. This video was uploaded on September 2014. Very old video, but Vsauce is an all-time great YouTuber. He's one of those timeless YouTubers where I guarantee you this video is still going to be great. It's called Spooky Coincidences, ? And I'm really into coincidences. I think they're really interesting. I think Vsauce always adds cool facts and scientific input in this. This person right here has never seen a Vsauce video.
I haven't.
He's not into Vsauce. I've seen some Vsauce videos. I might have watched this one before. I don't know. If I did, it was some years ago. So we're gonna look into this, see if we can get some cool facts, maybe add some cool input. Tell me if you want more Vsauce reactions, because I would really like to make them because they're really cool. And if you say no, I'm still gonna make them. Fuck you. Okay,
we're definitely not watching this because I've never seen a Vsauce video and I don't know anything about sports.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're doing this when they're here because you know the sports reaction will come back soon. Okay, let's go.
Is that a monster? I really want to know what can that is. I think that's a monster.
Yeah. Hi, Vsauce.
Michael here. Backwards speech. Oh.
No, it wasn't backwards.
It wasn't
purpose.
backwards.
It was
he knows how to repair cans. Okay.
No, I was thinking it wasn't backwards on purpose. It's just a coincidence.
It's just a coincidence. It's a coincidence.
You can practice speaking backwards, so when your words are reversed, they're intelligible. But here's something else that is weird. The digits in the speed of light are exactly the same as the latitude of the Great Pyramid of Giza. And, as the anagram genius has revealed, all the world's a stage, but if you rearrange the letters in the meaning of life, it becomes the engine of a film. Or, more pessimistically, the fine game of nil. What is...
So, like, coincidences like these, I think they're really interesting because a lot of people on the more conspiratorial side, I know a lot of y'all probably think I'm more on the conspiratorial side because I'm kind of reacting to this whole thing called a conspiracy theory iceberg. It's like 10 hours long. But I would say less on this. I think these are more just really cool coincidences that I think are really cool to learn about when a lot of people are saying, oh, this means that we are the engine of a film.
Yeah,
literally.
Like
the simulation is putting the speed of light and this pyramid of Giza at the same place, or they knew the Egyptians, the aliens, they knew the speed of light, so they decided to put their thing on the exact latitude, the speed of light and stuff.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Yeah, but I think it's really, I'm not one of those downers who say, bro, I don't think that's cool, man. It's just a coincidence, man. What are you talking about? Like, no, it's still cool. Things can be cool and not some big conspiracy at the same time, okay?
Things can be cool and aliens can exist, but they don't have to be related.
Exactly.
What does all of this mean? Are these just coincidences? Or are greater powers at work? Why is it so easy for us to find hidden messages? Why can a mere coincidence give us chills? And why is it so fun?
Illuminati.
When you reverse Neil Armstrong saying, "Small step for man," you can hear what sounds like man will spacewalk.
It's one small step for man, small step for man,
Hearing reverse text.
What?
I just hate hearing reverse texts.
Dude, reverse,
Creepy.
no matter what it is, reversed speech is always going to sound like Satan.
Yeah,
It's always going to sound demonic. Even, like, man will spacewalk is not even a demonic phrase.
Yeah, it's not like that word is creepy. I just hate hearing it in reverse.
Yeah, so that's which makes it even more creepy when they're actually saying, like, reverse songs or, like, saying the, like, devil 666 and stuff.
Hail Satan.
Yeah.
Lee Harvey Oswald assassinated President John F. Kennedy, and in this interview, he defends the Fair Play for Cuba Committee, of which he was a member.
The fact that I did live for a time in the Soviet Union gives me excellent qualifications to repudiate charges that Cuba and the Fair Play for Cuba Committee is communist controlled.
Now listen to what it sounds like when we reverse him saying, "and the Fair Play for Cuba."
and the fair play for Cuba. Luis President. Luis President. Luis President.
I might tweet that.
I don't think that'd be a good idea. Feel like that'd be a very bad idea.
I might tweet that.
Nah, I don't know about that one,
Is
Chief.
that a coincidence? Or a subconscious confession hidden within his own words? It's a
Getting off the coast was.
coincidence. For crying out loud, if anybody says, and the fair play for Cuba, and then reverses it, it sounds the same. This app,
Quote that.
What's
Vsauce,
that?
just go right
Vsauce,
there.
Vsauce?
by the way, is called Virtual Recorder. It's a really easy way to quickly reverse your own speech. Matthew Hudson, in The 7 Laws of Magical Thinking, points out that if you record yourself saying, "Ooh, you sniff turkey fat," and then reverse
Whoever
it sounds
said
a
that?
bit like "Happy Birthday to You." Kind of. If a word can be spelled the same for
How do you find that out?
What person do you know that
That
sniffs
has
turkey
said
fat that you had to say that to?
And who do you say that to and then go, ooh, I wonder what that sounds like backwards? And you went, oh
when
my
you-
god.
Okay, wait. When you take words backwards, does that mean that if you say the thing that was backwards and then reverse that? I'm trying to think of like how
So
that
if you
works.
said happy birthday to you, would it sound like
And
ooh,
sniff-
sniff turkey fat?
Like if you say if you said happy birthday to you, and
It
you
probably,
reversed
yeah, it probably would.
I don't. I'm trying to think if that's how.
So
the
maybe he
math
said
works.
happy birthday to you backwards and it sounded like ooh, you sniff turkey fat.
So then he said that instead of saying happy birthday to you, and then like
yeah.
I don't know why he chooses that order.
Yeah.
forward and backward, it's
Fortnite.
a palindrome. But if a word or phrase sounds the same, whether spoken forward or rewound, it is a phonetic palindrome. For
Okay.
example,
I was expecting some cool,
say
crazy
yes.
word, not just the word palindrome. but
Reversed?
with phonetic.
Wait, hold up. Fucking.
example,
Alright.
say yes. Reversed? Pretty cool. But check out this poem by Karsten Johansson. When I wonder why what's never been's never been so, we would lie when we say yes, you know we all love you. What's never been's never been so, hell, we're nowhere now. I wonder what was never been's that we lie when we say yes, seem we all that we was never been's that we all were nowhere now. By the way, some people can speak in reverse on
That, how do you manage to write an entire poem like that? That is extremely impressive. Let alone really. Cool.
By the way, some people can speak in reverse on the fly. It is really cool to see them in action. Watch guys lean back after this video. It's linked down in the description and it's full of pretty cool coincidence videos.
How weird does your brain have to work? Like, how does your brain have to be wired for you to even handle that mentally? To just say an entire, like, at any point, any word backwards?
Yeah, like
How do you live like that?
do you-
Because then anything you hear forwards, you have to just, like, also process in your brain as backwards.
Yeah, like imagine you play on a song with your boys and one of your boys in the back and like, bro, turn it off. Bro, there's some messages, bro.
That's
Turn it off.
True. Just anyone would be able to tell those subliminal messages if they hear things backwards.
Dude, that guy must love Gravity Falls.
Oh yeah, you just can tell immediately.
Apophenia is the perception of connections or patterns in information. One type of apophenia is pareidolia, the
Yeah, that's what I was
seeing
talking
or
about.
hearing of things that weren't meant to be there. For instance, hearing your name being called or your phone ringing and the sound of running water, or hearing English words in a non-English song, or seeing faces that weren't purposefully placed there. Our brain seeing faces that weren't purposefully
Cookie Monster.
It does look like the Cookie
placed
Monster.
there.
I'm looking at the one on the left. It's so
Our
happy.
brains are good
That's
at
on the
this
moon.
kind of work. Probably because being hyper attentive to patterns and faces can save your life. If there's ambiguity as to whether that thing hiding in the shadows is a threat or just a shadow, it's advantageous to err on the side of threat. Organisms with a healthy sense of apophenia live longer, long enough to have kids and raise them and naturally become the norm. We connect with faces so well. Hudson relates a story of a friend who draws faces on things she doesn't want to lose, like her bags. She says the faces make her less likely to forget about them. If you like it, you should have put a ring on it. If you like not losing it, you should have drawn a face on it. We are so good at teasing out,
What?
I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, the good line.
you should have drawn a face on it. We are so good at teasing out patterns and faces from random noise, actual random sequences don't always feel random to us. Originally, Apple's iTunes Shuffle feature generated complaints from users. They said that similar songs or songs from the same artist appeared in a string, which of course is to be expected from randomness, but it didn't feel random enough. So, Apple introduced a smart shuffle that avoided totally random sequences that nonetheless didn't seem random to our pattern-loving brains. As Steve Jobs explained, we're making it less random to make it feel more random.
I was expecting words or a quote to pop up, not just Steve Jobs' face that whole time. I was expecting the words to fold out. Yeah. It was just his face, and it
really threw me off.
Did not make sense.
Impressive ability to imagine patterns also expresses itself when it comes to connecting songs and moving images. This dancing Spider-Man animation will famously sync up with any music you play. Try it. What kind of black magic is going on here? Well,
sing a song.
What?
Sing a song when it starts playing.
I don't want to do that.
You have to do it.
I have to do that?
I don't know.
I gotta think of a song first. I was thinking the conga in my head. It was working too.
I was gonna have you sing "Call Me Maybe," like that one video with This Is America.
Childish Gambino, yeah.
Yeah, synced up with "Call Me Maybe." See, basically with this as well.
And moving images. This dancing Spider-Man animation will
seamlessly
sync up with any music you play. Try it. What kind of black magic is going on here? Well, as it turns out, most of it is in our...
Oh yeah, it syncs up really well with the Vsauce music that's already there, if you just pay attention to
music you play. Try it.
Yeah.
What kind of black magic is going on here?
Yeah, like it's just...
Well, as it turns out, most of it is in our heads. Radiolab reported that Michigan State University explains that the major movements of dancing animations like this one, or this one, move at typical song tempos, but also contain, like most dance, various other different related rhythms of movement, allowing them to seemingly fit many different tempos. Selection bias helps a lot too. We fall prey to this when we reject all the times the animation doesn't really sync up, focusing instead on the more surprising times when it does. The bizarre pyramid coincidence mentioned earlier is a lot less bizarre when you consider the fact that we got to control where we placed the decimal point, and that a number of degrees this precise isn't necessary to locate the pyramid. By the fourth decimal, we're only talking about a matter of a few meters, so it's easy to make the rest fit the speed of light exactly and have still picked a point on the pyramid. Confirmation bias also comes into play here. If you really want two things to sync up, they will. We often look for evidence that supports what we already believe while marginalizing things against it. As Marshall McLuhan said, "I wouldn't have seen it if I hadn't have believed it." These biases also help explain the seemingly mind-blowing coincidence that famous movies and famous albums can line up. One of the most popular states that if you start playing Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon at the same time as The Wizard of Oz...
The thing he's been ranting about since I got here,
dude,
that it's not on YouTube the right way
because there was a video of this on YouTube, and it was so great because he showed every single connection. It got taken down because it got double copyrighted because it was playing a whole album multiple times
and a full-length movie.
Yeah, but it had like 10 million views. And it was up for like 10 years before it got taken down.
They
I thought it was going
to line up. Entire communities have sprouted around the syncing of movies and albums. Some of my favorites are the Yellow Submarine soundtrack and The Little Mermaid, Lord's Pure Heroine and Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn 2, and
Heroine.
the end of 2001 A Space Odyssey with Pink Floyd's Echoes. There are
with Pink Floyd?
that these were somehow secretly planned, though in reality they're just accidental music videos, the product of selection bias, confirmation bias, and the law of near enough. A behavior of
biases.
Our patterns.
What?
Humans are just biased.
We are biased, but it's still cool.
Sensitive minds. Two things don't have to line up exactly or literally for us to see a connection. This is why vague predictions are a great way to look psychic. These are also actually unsurprising when you consider the fact that the number of narrative paces and rhythms we enjoy and typically use are much smaller than the number possible.
Oh, I've also seen a video on explaining that Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz phenomenon, that it also works quite well with other movies. It works best with the Wizard of Oz, but it works also with other movies because the album kind of goes on a structure like a movie.
Okay, yeah.
So it has like a climax and an ending and stuff.
Isn't there a very similar thing with a Tyler, the Creator album? That follows,
Maybe.
I
I've never
think-
seen
I'm
someone
pretty-
sing it with a movie though. So if someone tries singing a Tyler the Creator with movies, see if it works out.
In the improbability principle, David J. Hand calls this the probability lever. What may be rare on average, or when considering all possible scenarios,
Still though, I still believe that it's insane how much specifically with the Wizard of Oz. He says, "Cause the faithful to their knees," as the man gets on his knees. He says, "You raise the blade," as they raise a blade. And when she finally goes home, it sings, "Home, home again. I like to be here when I can." And when they go to
Maybe they were just watching The Wizard of Oz the entire time they made that album.
and
Who
the
knows?
album cover, think about it, the album cover, Wizard of Oz,
Oh,
nothing to
yeah,
color.
Nothing to Color.
And when they go to the area of color, it starts is the exact moment where the second half of the album starts playing. And it's the song Money, and as soon as they go in here, it makes the cash register sound, goes ching ching ching, as the budget of the movie drastically expands. Come on, that's
Okay,
pretty
that one seems like a stretch.
Come on,
the,
man.
The budget
I like
of the
that
movie
one.
drastically.
Come
I think
on,
it's
man.
interesting and it's kind of funny, but that is
Not only, I'm gonna keep ranting about this. No, not only he
going on
actually-
about how like you don't believe in the conspiracy theory stuff, and then this is what.
No,
you're going
this one I
to.
believe though. This one has to be. There, not only does it fit with the movie, he adds more meaning to the movie because it starts playing the song "Us and Them," which is a song about like war and like there's no reason to be fighting. When during the Munchkins, when she first meets the Munchkins, and when she's fighting the flying monkeys and stuff, simulating that they're actually both kind of the same, and there's no reason for them to be fighting each other in the first place.
Yeah, I think every Munchkin should have a little flying monkey pet, and then the world would be better.
Yes.
Dude, you think the flying
And-
monkeys could carry the Munchkins?
I'm not done
Like if you
yet.
had two, they just like lift them up and fly them around. Society would be better.
It would
in
be
the
better, it would be
Oz
better.
world.
And I'm not done telling these coincidences. When the freaking Scarecrow pops up, it starts playing the song Brain Damage. When the Tin Man parts up, it literally has a heartbeat playing. There's no way this is not...
This literally just became the Pink Floyd and Wizard of Oz video.
Yes.
This isn't even a Vsauce video.
I will keep
review.
I will defend this with my heart.
can be less rare for specific scenarios, even if they are only marginally different. Getting struck by lightning
For a second I was thinking like, man, we're really just watching this video, not talking too much, but then we went on a whole tirade, so
Yes. Yeah.
I don't feel too bad anymore. I think we've made up for it.
Yeah,
is
we
a
made up for it.
proverbially unlikely event. But Walter Summerford wasn't just
Walter
struck by
Hartwell
lightning
White.
once during his life. He was struck 3 times. It never killed him, but 4 years after his death, his gravestone was also struck by lightning.
He pissed off Zeus.
I was about to say, I think he just pissed off Zeus.
Hey,
This isn't a
he must
coincidence.
he must have pissed off
Just
Zeus.
mess with God.
Bro.
What are the chances? I mean, clearly, Summerford was some sort of robot built out of lightning rods, or had somehow angered Zeus, right?
Exactly what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably.
See, while for
Notice
the
he said probably.
average person, the chance of being struck by lightning is quite
Even Vsauce fears Zeus.
low, for an
Why did the robot turn upside down?
It's a coincidence, dude.
avid
Don't
outdoor
think about it.
sportsman like
Okay.
Summerford, it's not as low. The law of truly large numbers also comes into play here, with lightning striking Earth 40 to 50 times a second. Billions of people for it to strike and thousands of years of recorded history, it's actually not surprising at all that at least once a story like Summerford's would have happened. Given the truly large number of people who visit Disney World every day, and the fact that they take photos and lots of them, it's actually not surprising at all that at least once so far, a story like Alex and Donna Vsauce's has happened. While sorting through old photos before their wedding, Alex and Donna found a photo of Donna at Disney World 14 years before the couple met. But then Alex noticed something. He too had visited Disney World as a child, and there, in the background, was his father pushing him in a stroller. Sometimes coincidences can be tragic. In 1864, Abraham Lincoln...
That one. Okay, for this one.
Cutting off at Abraham Lincoln. Come on.
Abraham Lincoln always gets cut off. But,
Did he get to finish that show?
my guy never got to finish the show. He never know the ending.
Damn it.
I mean, no one knew the ending. I think they must have canceled the show. There's no way they kept going.
I guess someone got shot. They probably didn't keep acting.
Yeah, and considering also the assassin then dove off onto the stage and broke his leg.
Yeah. How many people do you think thought that was a part of the show for like a couple seconds? Like at least like 2 minutes, someone thought, "Damn, this got wild."
I mean, there is a magician, no, comedian. What was it? Was it a magician or a comedian? I don't remember. He had a heart attack on stage. People thought it was part of his act.
Okay.
So probably a few people in there.
In the background was his father.
I forgot what I was gonna say about this
pushing
one.
him in a
But this one's
Yeah.
insane.
Sometimes coincidences can be tragic. In 1864, Abraham Lincoln's son, Robert Lincoln, was saved from serious injury or possibly even death when a stranger grabbed him by the shirt collar moments before he plunged onto train tracks below. That stranger turned out to be Edwin Booth, one of the most famous Shakespearean actors of the time. So famous, in fact, Robert recognized him and had a letter sent thanking him for saving his life. Less than a year later, Edwin Booth's brother, John Wilkes Booth, undid the favor by assassinating Abraham Lincoln. Strange as they seem at first, math says that given enough time, and psychology says that given enough interest in finding them, coincidences and connections will be found, even unlikely ones. The coincidences between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy are famous. Both were elected to the presidency in a year ending with 60. Lincoln was shot at Ford's Theater. Kennedy was shot in a 1961 Lincoln Continental four-door convertible made by Ford. Both presidents' last names have...
I remember my mom showing me like these coincidences off like a Facebook post when I was like 7 and just thinking this shit was wild. Just thinking like, damn.
A week before, what was it? What was the one that was really good?
He'll get it, I promise.
It was like a week before getting assassinated. Abraham Lincoln was on in Monroe Street, and the week before getting assassinated, John F. Kennedy was in Marilyn Monroe.
Was in Marilyn Monroe. He was in Marilyn Monroe
I think-
a lot though, to be honest. So that's not a big coincidence.
I'm pretty sure I heard that one's wrong though. I think Marilyn Monroe died a year before, but
7
still.
letters, and both assassins had 15 letters in their names. The list goes on,
Their successors were called Johnston, Andrew Johnston, and Lyndon Johnson.
as it should. If you look long enough, you can find coincidences between any two people or things or events. They may seem strange at first, but tend to wind up being, in the end, pretty expected. For just one example, name length isn't that wildly variable. 7-letter names are pretty common. Lincoln, Kennedy, Michael, Stevens. In the famous Spooky Presidential Coincidences contest held by the Skeptical
Rumbles?
Inquirer,
Yeah, let's say Rumbles is one too.
one contestant alone
I have
found
way more than
similar
7 letters
lists
in my last
of
name.
crazy coincidences between 21 pairs of former presidents. Given the vast amount of details in any one of our...
It's kind of how the fact that all presidents are related, but that's not a weird thing because if you know enough about a person's genealogy, any 45 random people you get are going to be related.
lives, it's pretty easy.
Never mind, I did the math. I'm only like 1 letter above 7. I don't know why I said way more.
Yeah.
This quirk can be exploited to almost comedic heights when it comes to overanalyzing. Of course, hidden messages and signs are often intentionally included in media for fun or to reward attentive viewers.
Easter egg.
But unintentional, extraordinary things happen all the time. It's not really that extraordinary. There's a famous calculation that is known as Littlewood's law. Given the number of
Tiny penis.
hours we are awake every day, and assuming an event only takes about a second to occur, if you calculate the odds of something happening to you are only 1 in a million, well, you should expect that thing to happen to you about once every 35 days. David J. Hand took this even further with 7 billion people on Earth. The chance that an event with a 1 in a million probability of happening to each of us won't happen today is 1 in 10 to the 3,040. As Percy Diaconis put it, the truly unusual day would be a day where nothing unusual happens. And as always, thanks for watching.
That was a great quote.
That was
But
nice.
also, it's a pretty damn good quote. Also, I think the most, thinking about that,
You think a lot, from what I can see.
the most boring day in history has been coined as it was April 10th, 1950 something. It was the day they looked at all the days recorded of all the historical events happened every day and looked for the day with the least notable things happening. I think it was April 10th, 1950 something that had the least occurrences happen. It was the most boring day in history.
Jeez.
That was truly, so it was the least unusual day, but it was the most unusual day at the same time.
It's like Tad Strange from Gravity Falls.
Yeah, he's a tad strange because he's the only one that's not a tad strange.
Exactly.
All right, yeah, that's pretty good. If you want to back to more us, we're a duo now, at least for now.
Anytime I come over here, which is not very often.
Yeah, to react to more Vsauce videos, specifically his most recent videos. We wanted to start with some of his older stuff, because this stuff I was more familiar with. And you want to go back to his more recent stuff, leave that in the comment section below. Any specific ones, because we don't know which ones specifically to react to. But, yeah.